Hi everyone, and thanks for watching this class nugget, where I'm going to be sharing slides and talking points along with comments from several members about a theme from our coaching sessions in the past few weeks, that theme being accountability. You've heard this story before. A few years ago, we polled over 60 HMR Phase 1 and Phase 2 groups and asked a pretty simple question. What is the most valuable aspect of the coaching sessions? Now, we got a lot of answers, and it was my job to organize all the comments. And the one thing that jumped out above everything else was that the word accountability kept showing up. We're talking across hundreds of different comments. In fact, people identified the accountability of the group as the most important aspect of our coaching sessions in more than half of all the answers. Accountability was number one. And we really shouldn't have been surprised by that. There's obviously no magic button in this work that makes people follow through on their intentions, on their goals. But the closest thing to a magic button may in fact be accountability. And I can't tell you how often Larry would stress the importance of accountability, so much so that he simply called it the A word. In our program development meetings throughout the years, if we were piloting a potential change in the program, Larry would always say, make sure you're building in enough of the A word here. Or when discussing how to help individual program members push harder on certain behaviors in the program, Larry would inevitably say, don't forget the A word. Take advantage of the A word with this, and so on and so on. Look, when a concept becomes so important to people's success that you can simply refer to it by its first letter, well, you know that that concept has arrived and that it is very important. And don't we all know this from experience? How many times have you heard someone say something to the effect of, I really have to do this because I said I would? Well, whether they want to do it or not, they're probably going to do it because of the accountability of having said that they were going to do it. So here's what Laura from Bill's Phase 2 class on Wednesday night said after being away from the program for just a few short months. Drift happens. And when I stepped away from the program, I missed the accountability. I realized I need the accountability and the structure of the program in my life. Accountability works, and it can be the difference between doing what you said you were going to do versus not doing it. Oh, it's easy to have goals. Everyone has goals. But actually following through on them? Well, again, I think we've all had the experience of not following through on goals from time to time. It's just so easy for goals to fall off the radar screen when it's competing with the other priorities in our lives. But in the face of those other priorities, accountability keeps the goals and the plans that we make front and center in our minds. And to that point, here's what Sister Gail said in her Phase 2 coaching session. Accountability has me focusing on the outside part of this work, the behaviors, but also reinforces the inside part, my awareness that I need to keep doing these things. That's exactly what accountability does. It helps you to keep the priorities that you identify in the group in that hour as priorities during the week. And it comes in different forms. Here's what Carol H. shared about how, in addition to accountability being key in general, the fact that the accountability is not judgmental makes a huge difference to her. Here's what she said. There's something different about this program. In other programs I've been to, there's some accountability, but you get a sense that you did something wrong. It's very different from what we have here. It's like a bait and switch. But here, it's always positive and affirming. And it's okay to be who I am. I was up 3 pounds this week. I wasn't happy. But coming to group, I knew I'd get complete support while staying accountable. Boy, do I like what she's saying there. It's not just accountability, but the fact that it's non-judgmental accountability. Just wonderful. That's what helps people to choose it as well. That non-judgmental factor is huge. Then Will added on to Carol's point with this. In this group, there's a layer of non-judgment. We're all working on the same things, and there's an openness that we have by working together. And it's not about what we did wrong. It's about resetting. Coming to group means it's time to begin again. Ah, yes, we love that phrase, begin again. It's a phrase that we adapted from a famous quote from more than 2 centuries ago, which said, if I should fall even 1,000 times a day, I will say immediately, nunc coepi, which translated means, now I begin. Nunc coepi. And that's what Will is talking about. Begin again. And at this point, it was also reinforced by Dr. Ed, who also in Phase 2, when he shared this. Attending this group every week gives me the accountability that I need to reset for the week, which is just so important. It's an opportunity to reset, to recommit, and to begin again. That's what the accountability of the group provides. Then here we have Mary C. reinforcing the importance of the group accountability. And I quote, "During the week, I see the faces of my group members. This is my group. And I realize I'm doing this for more than myself. And that helps me to follow through with the plans that I've made." So, step back here for a moment. What are we hearing in these few comments that I've just shared? The importance and the necessity of accountability and the added value of non-judgmental accountability. So, knowing that accountability is so important, are there ways to be even more accountable for you? With your weight, with your health, or with the choices that you make related to both? It's a very good question to ask, because since accountability works, then more accountability is even better. It might be as simple as tracking your health behaviors more consistently in the app or with whatever method you use for record keeping. Remember the study that we shared a few weeks back? They found that frequency of record keeping, not the level of detail, was most closely linked with keeping weight off a full year after people in that study lost the weight. So quick and dirty record keeping, that does the trick. Keep the records quickly, but do it frequently, at least 3 times throughout the day, at least, at a minimum. Do this, and you're essentially choosing to be more accountable. Here are 2 quick endorsements for the accountability of record keeping. First, from Jade. "When I get into my records, it's like making a deposit of commitment to my program every time." That's such a great way to put it. Making deposits through the accountability of record keeping to literally build up your level of commitment. That's just what she's talking about, and that's fantastic. And here's this one from Dana. "If I don't keep records, then I'm not keeping score, and then I don't know if I'm winning or losing." Boy, that's another strong quote. If you don't know if you're winning or losing, where's the accountability to help you make the next healthy choice? Frequent record keeping provides that accountability. So, in the spirit of exploring more accountability, we've had some members choosing to report on their progress during the week. Now, we're just exploring this idea, but so far the value seems pretty clear. First, there's this from Anita, who I work with in our Wednesday Phase 2 group. I'll just read the first couple of sentences here. "Hi, Rick. Thank you for the opportunity to be accountable midweek. I have 3.5 days in the Phase 1 box." And she went on to have a very strong week. Do you think that knowing she was going to report to me made a difference? Of course it did. And this was followed by, "I had a rough Saturday night. I'm happy to report that while I ate too many calories, everything I ate was in the Phase 1 box. Nothing like accountability to keep me from going to the out-of-the-box cabinet, my husband's snacks." If you think about it, accountability may have been the difference in what happened here for Anita. And here's Barbara going all out by posting her accountability to stay in the 1.5 box on our Facebook page. Now that is putting it out there. Good job, Barbara. And let's follow that with Gaitha reporting to Bill at midweek, again, choosing to be accountable. And she wrote, "I'm excited about my progress. Today is my 5th day in the box. Thanks for the additional accountability." Are we hearing a theme here? Choosing accountability helps you to do things that you might not otherwise do. And that's really worth noting, isn't it? That's very important. And finally, we come back full circle to Laura, who, if you remember, had stepped away from the program and had missed the accountability. And I quote, "Touching base with my accountability partner. Thanks for keeping me honest. Thanks for holding me accountable. Like it or not. Ha ha ha." File that last comment under keeping it real, because as important as accountability is, let's face it, it's not the most exciting or enjoyable thing to take on. But that's okay, because it works. Whether we enjoy it or not, accountability works. So take it on this week. More accountability. With the records that you keep throughout the day, frequency trumps all. With the coaching session that you attend this week, you are planning on attending a coaching session, yes? Okay. The goals that you vocalize in the group, the plans that you share with others to support those goals. It's all being accountable when you put it out there. And it also helps to reinforce your commitment to following through. All of this falls under choosing to be more accountable, the A word. And in choosing that, actually improving your ability to do the next right thing during the week, the next positive thing for your weight and for your health. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.